I'm going to show you how to do practical things from your travel journals. In this case, it's a paddle journal. Now, this is a paddling trip that I took along the various lakes and rivers in the Kootenay region, southwest British Columbia. And what I'm going to do is we were paddling canoes, but we had some kayaks come out. And I'm going to take this kayak form and I'm going to put it into a bookmark. So you've got a practical application to that little vignette that's in your paddle journal, in your travel journal. So we'll translate it into that bookmark, and then every time you're reading that book, you're going to be able to remember in really clear way those wonderful events and activities along your various travels. So follow along, show me how you do, and I know you can do this. It's really simple and straightforward. So I want to take this little vignette of a kayak. We were paddling canoes, big Voyageur canoes, but at one point we had a group of 6 or 8 kayakers come away from the shore and paddle right out to meet us. Normally they'd hang right along the shoreline, but they came out to meet us. And so I wanted to record that little event by sketching a little kayak into my travel journal, my paddle journal. So I want to put that into a bookmark format so the kayak is a really forgiving shape. So it's just kind of this long, narrow shape to it. Don't worry about any line, that's what erasers are for. So there's your basic shape of the kayak. You've got the kind of cockpit area. It's kind of an off egg-shaped kind of piece with a seat in the bottom of it. You've got a center line with a kayak. It comes down here. You've got this kind of portal in the bow. There you go. And maybe you've got some tie downs, the stern. So there's your basic kayak shape and form. Maybe you've got some little lines heading off to show it's moving in this direction. We can fill these in a little bit later. But you want to be really simple about this whole approach. Now, everybody on the planet is going to know that that's a kayak. Now, what we want to do is take just the bulk of the kayaks that came out were actually orange. So I'm going to take some very light pale orange watercolor here and just, think about elementary school, stay inside the lines. And I wouldn't get too concerned about this. It's, as I say, it's a forgiving shape. And, a little bit of orange on this is going to add dimension. I'll show you how we can add even more dimension to this as well in just a second here. So there's your basic shape and form to the kayak. It's got some color to it now. And we're just going to leave it at that in this case. And what you might want to do is for just kind of a little bit of fun is take some very pale blue and just add it to this really fine lines of blue on this, just to give it more idea that the kayak is moving in this direction. So there we go. There's your basic kayak shape, form to it. I'm going to let this dry a little bit, but what you can do in the meantime is you can take this, and this was on Kootenay Lake in the southeast part of British Columbia. So I might just put that on there. Kootenay Lake. And my initials at the bottom. So there's your kayak. It's going to be a memory of that wonderful trip that you took. If you want to add a little bit more dimension to this kayak, what you can do is take a little bit more of that orange and just do up one side. So it looks like the light is perhaps coming from this side, and this side is a little bit darker. And I just leave it at that. There you go. take that out, just dry the brush off a little bit, and you can take the orange out. So there's, again, a bit of 3-dimension to that. And what you can do also is that when this is all dry, you can add some black, some gray to the seat area, and black to this. It's often got a little cap on the front portal here. And there you go. So there's a really wonderful, simple, and easy way to translate your little sketches and watercolor vignettes out of your travel journal and into practical art. So every time you're reading that book, it's going to help you remember that wonderful occasion that you had out on Kootenay Lake.